Before the British arrived, Aboriginal nomadic Orang Laut people lived there. In the 1800s, this area was where the Bugis Makassar schooners would land. Imagine a fleet of 300 sailing in before the September-October monsoon. The forests of their masts stretched across the coast. They unloaded their cargoes of spices and tortoise shells, gold dust, and even slaves along the shores, ready to trade. The atmosphere was lively, and often besides goods, fish. Now, I want to draw your attention to the National Stadium. Follow the Kallang River and to the right. The stadium is the oval structure with big platforms. I still remember my first time there. 7th Southeast Asian Peninsula Games, when the Singapore football team reached the semi-finals. The stadium was filled to the brim, about 70,000 people, right up to the cauldron and flags at the perimeter of the stadium. The fans were screaming, and that was the first time I heard the Kallang roar. Singaporeans have many fond memories of the stadium. It's going to be demolished soon. In its place, the Sports Hub, a state-of-the-art sports and entertainment complex, which will be ready in 2013, in time for the 27th Southeast Asia Games. Before that, we've got the Youth Olympics in 2010 to look forward to.
Look at compass number 3 on your in-flight guide.
On the side of the continent is the east coast of Singapore. The land the flyer is on, and the entire coast, all the way to Changi Airport at the eastern tip of the island, is reclaimed. Can you see the airport's control tower today? On a clear day, see the airplanes take off.
At the tip.
Singapore became independent in 1975. As a small island nation with natural resources, infrastructure and public housing were top priority. Under Lee Kuan Yew, the People's Action Party was true to its name. To a pragmatic approach, looking skywards and reclaiming land from the sea. Look around. Singapore is a very built-up city. Up to about 80% of people live in HDBs, Housing Development Board flats. They are the simple low-frills apartment blocks that fill up most of the cityscape. By 2005, they live in HDB flats. In the 60s, in place of rural villages or kampongs, new towns were created. Each town was self-sufficient, with wet markets, shops, schools, playgrounds, and a mix of the different ethnic groups. Ever since English Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles founded modern Singapore in 1890, Singapore has always been carefully planned. Raffles drew up a grid-like town plan to organize the different ethnic groups. Chinese, Malays, Arabs, Indians, and others came to work as merchants and laborers and ended up settling here.
Look at compass number 4 on your in-flight guide.
Look up the Kallang River to the left of the concourse.
De quoi?
See the two golden domes. That's
Tu parles de quoi?
Kampong Glam. mosques
Ouais.
and interior are aptly more spectacular to be possible. The fasting month of Ramadan. As twilight falls, the faithful congregate in the mosque grounds, waiting for the muezzins call to finish fasting. Then buying cakes and snacks from the street side stalls, set up specially during this month.
Et tout ça, c'était à la mer.
Et ça, c'était la mer.
Quand ils disent.
It is one of the few places in Singapore that has not been swept up in relentless redevelopment. There's a kind of relaxed bustle about the place. I like to go to the market there early on Sunday mornings. They've got the freshest meat and vegetables. Then I'd go for a walk around the neighborhood with my camera, taking pictures of the buildings and people, finishing off with a vegetarian breakfast and a cup of sweet. Little India is where workers from India and Bangladesh gather on their day off. Singapore has always been a country of migrants. People from around the world and the region coming to seek a better life here. And as they stayed, they created enclaves. That's our home from. There's little Philippines and Lucky Plaza, little Myanmar. From here, you can see Little Thailand, Golden Mile Complex, a beige and orange building facing Kallang River. Every city has a Chinatown. If you look to the left side of the no-exit doors, Chinatown is behind the brown building with the curved pattern top. Ever since the mid-1800s, the majority of the population has been Chinese. Back then, they came as laborers, coolies, and were housed in Chinatown. They led a hard life in a rough neighborhood, which was full of vice and violence because the secret societies were in charge. Chinatown has gone through many changes since that time, but it remains the spiritual home to the Chinese Singaporeans, with many going back there to pray, shop and eat, especially during Chinese New Year and the Mid-Autumn Festival.
This track refers to compass number 5 on your in-flight guide.
We are now reaching the summit of our flight, 165 meters above ground. You can see what Singapore is today and what it will become. Look at the ships. Out at sea, princes, admirals, colonialists saw endless possibilities in this little island and staked their claim. Why? Location. And location equals money. There's nothing like this view.
Ils ont
The
rajouté quelque
islands
chose.
beyond the ships are Indonesian. And if you
Le
look
golf là et
north,
tout.
you see the mountains of Malaysia. Singapore is at the very southern tip of the Asian continent. That means that all the trade from Europe to Asia has to pass through the Straits of Malacca.